I like my green with crystals like Folgers, picking up momentum, rolling like boulders. They call me ice, but I'm really much colder. My rhymes is heavy like the weight on my shoulders. I'm spitting that red hot smoldering lava. I fight to the end like the Navajo. Crack a bottle though, make it the goose with cranberry and triple sec. Triple my check, I feel the ripple effect of a fool on the loose. I hit you from every angle, from obtuse to right. Street shit like JJ, I'm dynamite. Slide me some dough, I show you an execution in the flesh, and promise not to leave nothing left. If you bombing, I keep stabbing, shooting, damaging, looting, till it ain't no disputing who the greatest is.
What is up, party people? Dang, just as I promised, we was going to do a part 2 here live on Mike Robinson Boulevard. We got some legendary shit about to jump off again. I got my man Monook back in the house. What's up, bro?
Hello. How y'all doing out there? Good to be back at Mike Robinson Block. We still hanging out.
Hey, man, that first one, we ruffled some feathers, man, with that first one, man.
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate all the outcome. You know, I was just out here this week for Pac to receive his star, and I want to say the fans that he still had, you know, it was a nice crowd. You wouldn't think 27 years that he would still be bringing in, you know, them type of people at all ages of fans. So, you know, it's a blessing to be a part of the story.
Oh, it's a blessing, right?
Yeah.
And you talking about the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, right?
Well, I mean, it's a blessing to be just a part of it all. Like I said, back then when we was growing up, we never knew that it would last, you know what I'm saying, this long. And to know that is truly a blessing, especially now that I'm a part of it. It's you know, yeah. I look at it on a whole nother level now.
I like my green with crystals like Folgers.
First thing we're going to talk about, let's get right to it, man.
Okay.
I want to talk about Pac's Gangster.
Okay.
A lot of people are intrigued and have a lot of interest in Pac's Gangster. And, you know, it comes across in a lot of ways, man. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Well, again, Pac was real. I'm gonna start there. Pac was real. So when you talk about his gangsterness, I mentioned it a lot of times. When Pac got with us, I looked at Pac was the little homie earning his stripes. You know, everybody want to relate Pac to Juice because that was a character he played and it trickled over into his life. But everything that Pac actually did was genuine. That's what people don't really understand. It wasn't nothing fake about Pac. If he was down with you, he was going to ride with you no matter what. Right or wrong, he was going to stand right on the side of you if he considered you as part of his inner circle. Now, I would say, as far as everybody want to say if he was a blood or a Crip or anything like that, I don't think he would have ever actually choose sides. I just think that at that particular time, whoever he was hanging out with, he was going to ride with you and rep whatever the situation was.
Okay, so that's what it was more of about, is just he just down with who he's riding with, who he's around and kind of on a mission with. So I want to really lock in this idea that Pac was not fake, right? Because I look at it like Pac was not doing fake shit. That's just really like he was living his truth, being himself, right? And it was just coming out based on the situations.
Right. Well, what I will say to that is, I'm going to put it out here like that. Any true gangster out there is going to recognize the real from the fake. We'll start there. And anybody that's running around here saying that Pac was fake didn't actually know him. Let's start there. They own something that they assume. Maybe they hung out with him for a few minutes and they was able to see his versatility, not his fakeness. Because he can be in a room with certain people and he's going to act a certain way accordingly to what fits the occasion. Mm-hmm. So to me, that was a smart person because he was able to touch on any level of a conversation. You know, you throw him in any room and he was going to be on that level of conversation with you. You wasn't going to out-talk him or none of that. He was going to be right there with you that you was going to have to say, So, in saying that, I just don't see nothing fake about the man.
Nothing fake about the man.
No.
You know, the narrative out there is that Pac got into some shit that he didn't know what he was into, right? Like mixing up with the wrong people, you know, rolling with the Deathrow cats, fighting at the Vegas fight, and all these things, and it hit him, and he was naive.
Well,
So my question for you is, Pac been around so many gang members during his time in L.A., right? Mm-hmm. Real entrenched. Did he understand the L.A., the depth of the danger of hanging with gangs?
Well, I'm going to say no. And the reason why I'm going to say no is because, again, we had Pac at a very young age. And when Pac was hanging with us, even though we lived gang culture, it was behind us. So we was moving through the streets freely. We knew everybody. Everybody knew of us. Like I said, we was already Inglewood made. You know what I'm saying? Way before Pac even came into the play. So when Pac came and seen us, you know, it was on some big baller type of stuff. It had nothing to do with no gang banging at all. Because again, we was free to go anywhere that we wanted to go. We kind of knew somebody over here and knew somebody over there, you know. So we kind of floated through the streets a little bit smoother, where when he got over to Deathrow, they kind of pushed the gang mentality. So they rolled under a different situation. Because now, it's like anything. If you put something out there, you're going to put a target on your back.
Right.
When we first started pumping Thug Life, quite naturally, the thugs tested us.
Right.
Is these niggas for real? So some places we went, we were tested. You know, but like I say, luckily we was a little bit older, so we was able to handle whatever came at us or talk ourselves on out of it.
Right.
It was either or, however the situation, you know what I'm saying, may win. But again, I'm gonna go back and slide with the fakeness because, you know, I'm still on that for the people,
right,
to make sure the people understand that. Pay attention again to history. Pac riding down the street. He see a black person over there getting harassed. He jump out with his pistol. He gunning niggas down. He don't know that man he's saving.
Right.
All he seen was a black man getting jumped on by two people that turned out to be police. Did he care?
Right.
He didn't even know that.
Right.
But do you call that fake?
I know I don't.
I mean, you know, not saying that he's a real gangster.
Right.
But he wasn't afraid to do what it took to be done at a time whenever it needed to be done. Like I say, Pac wasn't going to never be in the back of the line when something jumped off. He was going to be always up at the front, no matter what. So again, can you call that fake? Y'all know some people, y'all tell me.
Yeah, right. And everybody I know that be in the front of the line, ain't none of them fake.
No.
So then that's why I say like I just don't feel like he could be like that naive to not know that like this is we fighting, we out here shooting, we out here mobbing, we running up against this group, that shit was real shit.
Right. Well, the naive come in at is because how do a rapper become the leader of y'all gang?
Okay.
Everybody's seen the footage of Vegas. It's been on all the networks. Everybody's seen what happened. Mm-hmm. The thug runs and get the rapper. The rapper takes off, and everybody follow him, even the boss. So how did we lose track of who in charge here? Why is we following Pac? If anything, you should have went to Suge and say, look, that's the nigga, and everybody should have followed Suge. Ain't he supposed to be at the top of the pole? He ain't supposed to be following his orders. But that goes to show you the camaraderie. It wasn't about who was boss, who wasn't. It was about us and them. Mm-hmm. So that's why the move was being made. If I would have been thinking about it now. Like, again, I wasn't there. I wasn't in none of them people's mind. But I live the streets. So I'm assuming, and again, y'all out there, make your own wise decisions, but read through the lines of everything. Mm-hmm. See what's really going out there. Go past the stuff that they show you and go to the stuff that they can't fake.
Right.
And figure that out.
Right.
Again, if Pac supposed to be the artist and Suge is the boss, and he got all these thug niggas up under him, gang banged out, Pac should have been the last nigga to talk to.
Okay, so that means what then?
That goes to show you that even the gang bangers nigga know that the nigga real, because they willing to follow him. You see what I'm saying? I mean, real gangbanging niggas ain't following just anybody, man. Come on now. I mean, come on. Right. I mean, just be logical about the situation. You know, just be logical about the situation.
Niggas ain't finna just be following somebody like that, man.
No.
Look, okay, so let's go with that too, because that's another misconception that Pac was a follower. Mm-hmm. What's your opinion on that?
I mean, I can see how the public maybe look at it that way because, again, whoever he got around, he locked in with him. You know, just like the situation in New York where got him shot the first time. You know, them niggas was some thug niggas. He got out there and he started hanging with them. And once shit went sour, he thought he can treat them like some Hollywood niggas by just dumping them and moving on. But quite naturally, you know what I'm saying, when you juggle around in the streets, you know what I'm saying, the streets got a little hectic. You know, niggas don't like to be, I would say, embarrassed maybe, or, you know, shined on like you too good for them, or whatever the situation may be. So that's how that situation went sour. But again, in every situation, it's going to be people that thinking that a person is one way and another. But again, if we stay focused and just, you know, follow the line, you know, you will be able to pick out, you know what I'm saying, what? You know, him going around spitting at the camera and all that. It's not nobody playing. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say his acting ability or his activity didn't excite some of the stuff he was doing. Mm-hmm. But I was with him the time where, you know, he didn't want to stop somebody from beating up on somebody. You know, they want to say him and Mary J. Blige had a thing going on. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, everybody know what's her name was beating up on her. he was just looking out for her. You know? But at the same time, he fell for her because the situation she was locked up in. So, you know, he helped her when he can. That's all it was. Wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think about this, man? In a lot of songs, Pac talk about death in a lot of songs, right?
Okay.
Do you think he had like a death wish?
No. But I think he probably knew eventually it was coming. You know, when people speak on death a lot, I don't know if they talk it into existence because, you know, we can, or they just know. It's just something they feel. You know, like I say, me and Sight, we ran together all the time. So by us running together, I knew the kind of lifestyle we lived. And yeah, when he was younger, you know, he might have dibble and dab and gang banging, and he might have caught a couple of enemies. But as we twinkled on up the ladder and start getting into things that we end up getting into, all them things start vanishing because we start gaining respect. You know, we got street fame. Now we over here with Hollywood fame. So blending all that together, it wasn't like we had to look over our back.
Right.
So, it, you know, but Sight would still say that, yeah, probably somebody gonna get me before I get 50. Now, true enough, he wasn't killed, but he didn't make it to be 50.
Right.
You know, so we're looking at him like, why is you thinking that you that hot? You know, nigga, ain't nobody looking at you no more. You know what I'm saying? But I guess he just felt that he wasn't gonna make it to 50, and he didn't. So I don't really know.
Pac had a lot of songs, man. You know, one, So Many Tears. Oh, where he go, my every move is a calculated step to bring me closer to embrace an early death. That's real deep right there, man. To think that your every move is calculated to get you closer to it, man.
Right.
What is that? How do you what's your interpretation of that line?
Well,
Knowing him.
again, we made a lot of music, and Pac quoted a lot of stuff. And believe it or not, a lot of stuff that he quoted came true. You know, and I guess you could say eventually we started noticing the pattern of, dang, didn't the nigga just say that? Now it's happening. You know, he might have rapped in a song, and then next thing you know, he done went to jail. Next thing you know, we done belt him out with a pound of weed in the car. And then, like, didn't he say he was gonna get belted out with a pound of weed? Like, you know, how do this stuff be coming? You know what I'm saying? But that's how it was. So if I had to look at it today, then I would look at it like that. He always said stuff that was gonna happen. You know? So I would, you know what I'm saying, look at it as he just knew the future. Back then, we were just looking at he just saying something. Nobody, you know, nobody think that, especially a young person like that, like Death was nowhere close.
Right.
You know. And then, like I say, he was running with us, so we wasn't even coming into them kind of contacts with Death, you know.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have no fear or, you know what I'm saying, no, like I said, in his circle, in the acting world, everybody wanted to mess with him. You know, everywhere we went, they gave Pac homage. In the streets, everybody was messing with us. So it was like we had both angles already covered, that we can just move freely.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna read one more where he says, if you bury me a G. No need to worry. I expect retaliation in a hurry. I see death around the corner. literally, no need to worry. I expect retaliation in a hurry, which is how he ended up dying.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, again, we can play with it, true enough, because it sounded like he knew what he was talking about. Or he could have just been talking. You see what I'm saying? It just came like that. It just blended in. It's on however you want to look at it. But when you start putting some more stuff that I tell you that he said before that and it came to true, then you have to start looking at that part a little differently.
That's right.
You know, so that's where we was at. You know, it was so much stuff that was happening that he had already was saying that we had to start looking at certain stuff differently. But again, never thinking about the death part. Never. That never crossed our mind.
Okay. But it was a little strange when y'all was in the studio and it kept coming up in songs, right?
That came true.
No, I'm just saying the discussion of death in the music.
No.
No? Not even?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because like I said, nobody ever put that together where it was going to come true.
Yeah, true. Now, Pac also was a revolutionary to the core. You know what I mean? How much of this revolutionary do you think led to this mentality that we're talking about?
Well, I would say a lot. You know, we all are where we are from where we came from. You know, I'm a little bit of who I am for what was exposed to me coming up. I made myself out of certain people who I admired. They did certain things. I grew up and started doing the same things when I was able. So I felt myself molded from these certain people. So again, not being in the man's mind or not sitting down and we having a conversation between me and him and he actually telling me what's in his mind of this, I would assume that everything that Pac was around, from going to the art class and all that kind of stuff, acting school, down to the Bay, running around with Digital Underground, them, all that, I feel that he sucked up and he was a part of everybody. You couldn't just say Pac was one thing, because if you knew him, you would say he was one way, but over here with these people, he a whole different way. So you can really never say that Pac was locked into one thing.
And
he was very versatile.
Okay, versatile, that's the word, because even in that description, you can't say he's fake.
No. It wasn't nothing fake about Pac. I'm just going to keep saying that.
Gonna keep saying it. Nothing fake about Pac.
No, it wasn't.
I like my green with crystals like Folgers.
The one thing that's impressive about Pac is that he spread the wealth. Everybody got to own their publishing, all that type of stuff, right? Or am I wrong?
Well, you right, and I mean, it's not that you right or wrong, I would say. Remember I told you, when we was doing a lot of work, right, it wasn't about signing paperwork. It wasn't nobody signing no contracts or no nothing. So basically, it wasn't no terms. Everybody was kind of free will. Now, when the companies came along and needed you to sign off so, you know, they wouldn't be liable for anything, quite naturally, then everybody would start to sign the paperwork, but by then, you still got all your rights. You know, Pac never was able to get his own company off the ground and sign orders to know how he was going to actually treat them.
Oh, okay, never even got that far.
No.
Okay.
No.
Understood. Let me ask you something about yourself, right? You know, when Pac passed away in Vegas, right? You guys had been going through these months or so, 4 or 5 months, where you weren't hanging with him no more, right? He was basically doing his thing at Deathrow. Y'all had kind of peeled back. He was running with the younger Outlaws at the time. Y'all wasn't with him every day no more, right? So you weren't there when it happened. Do you ever have, like, survivor's guilt?
No.
About that? like wishing maybe you could have done something about it?
Well, I mean, no, I don't look at it like that. Again, when death is there, it's nothing nobody can do. You know, for some strange reason, you just put at that place at that time. But I do look at it where if we was there, things maybe would have went a little differently. I do think that. Yeah, I do think that. Because again, we would have stopped it before it even got that far. You see what I'm saying? We would have never let him run over there and kick no nigga in the MGM with all them cameras.
Right.
We wasn't that stupid.
Right.
And we wasn't fans. So we definitely wouldn't have ran behind them.
Right.
So that whole situation would have been played out a whole lot different if it was still with us. I do believe that, yeah.
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 After it happened, you guys came there the next day and everything, or started mobilizing. I think you came the next day out there to Vegas. Did you ever actually get to see him, or were you just outside of the room where he was, or?
Yeah, no, I didn't go in and talk to him. What happened was, like I said, when we got there, I wasn't really worried too much. He was going in and out of a induced coma at the time. But I was just really hollering with the Outlaws, talking to them, you know. I didn't even get a chance to talk to Moms. My moms went inside the hospital and talked to his mother. I didn't. And then, like I say, after it happened, when we came back, it was so much of a uproar. You know, it wasn't even trying to get in and talk to nobody at that time.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know if Pac ever talked afterwards? Did he have anything to say, or was he, like, after being shot, did he talk?
Well, I want to say the only person that maybe said something might have been Mo. And Mo was more like, he didn't verbally say something. Maybe he might have said something with his eyes or try to make a gesture. Now, when you get to talking to, like I say, all them Deathrow, Snoop, and all them other niggas who said they went in there and talked to him before he died, you know, you got to take that with a grain of salt. Not that they have any reason to lie or anything. I'm not saying that. But if I had to believe anybody, I'm going to believe Mo. And if Mo didn't get no words out of him, I don't know how anybody else did. So I don't know. But me personally, no.
So after it happened too, basically you guys came out there. You guys saw the Outlaws, right? What did they tell you about what happened or what they knew? Did they know anything?
Well, again, that firstly couple of days, nobody talked about anything. You know, it was only maybe Kadafi who maybe had a couple of words with the police, you know, around that time. But eventually he was kept quiet, and then he ended up getting killed. So nobody actually told what actually happened that night. That story hasn't got out. Again.
No, not even amongst yourselves?
No. Nobody have sat down and talked about that at all. And you kind of got to realize with the Outlaws or the family, you know, Pac was their world. So it's not something that they actually want to bring up, I guess you could say.
Oh, understood.
You know, it's not a good conversation.
Yeah, understood.
I like my green with crystals like Folgers.
Okay, so immediately after, now I won't say immediately, kind of immediately, two outlaws passed away, right?
Well, eventually, Gaddafi passed away, yeah, right. The thing about that is they was putting the memorial on for Pac in Atlanta. So we was all in Atlanta for that. And Gaddafi was in New Jersey because, that's where they was from. And him and a couple of his friends was sitting around the house moping, depressed of, where their life was going to go from there. And tragedy, Gaddafi got killed. So while we at that, we get the phone call to say Gaddafi got killed. So basically, after giving Pac his memorial, the family had to fly to New Jersey the next day and deal with that because they was first cousins and they was close. Their mamas then was, I guess, stayed together because him and Gaddafi, they grew up together real close.
So you saying he got killed like unrelated?
Well, yeah. Again, we talking live, and fortunately, I can put the story out there, because again, I guess you would be caught up under the same code as talking about a murder. People just don't talk about it.
Got you.
But
got you.
Since it's already public knowledge.
Oh, so is it? Okay.
Let me put that out there first. I can bring up a couple of little things.
Okay.
Now, much love to my nigga Mutai, which was one of the outlaws.
Okay.
It was one of his people that ended up killing Kadafi, but it wasn't maliciously. The thing about the New Jersey crew was they play Russian roulette, but they don't play where you put the gun to your head and pull the trigger because, again, you got the Muslim code up in there, so you can't kill yourself.
Okay.
So basically what they're doing is I'll take the gun, shoot at you. You take the gun, shoot at me.
Damn.
So basically that's how it was. So again, he turned himself in. He took responsibility for it. And it was a little rip in the beginning, but it's all squashed now. Everybody is back together, and
That's good. That's good
news. It was just a sad moment. It was just a sad moment. That's all.
I see a lot of interviews with the various outlaws, man. Even to this day, are you still cool with them and everything?
Yeah. Like I say, we're all united under the Pac flag. You can kind of say, and again, everybody that was kind of in that inner circle is still bonded by that. So we all, got love and respect for one another. So even like you say, you got Mutai, he didn't move to Saudi Arabia. But again, we study in contact, study giving shouts out to each other, we're trying to get over there to visit him, And again, everybody came out that was local here for the unveiling of the store. So it was very good to see all the old faces because, again, it was so much Deathrow stuff being, frustrated the media that a lot of people was in the shadow. And at the store, a lot of the real people that was there in the beginning came out, and I really did like that.
So, recently, there's the new documentary out about Pac, Dear Mama, that was shot by the Hughes brothers. Have you seen that?
No.
You have not?
No.
I watched it. I'll say it's pretty good. They told a good message. A good story that left a good message. Really talked about Pac's relationship with Afeni, with his mother.
Right.
And it's surprising though that the Hughes brothers did this documentary because they had the drama from before that really started off with Pac supposed to be in the film leading to a fight. Can you tell me about that?
Well, yeah. The thing about that, what I would say is I kind of had, I kind of do have mixed feelings in the situation because, again, he came out to the store and I would say he had a semi-touching speech that made me look at him a little bit different. But the way I look at it is like this. In the beginning, when I heard that he was associated with the movie, I kind of took a little offensive towards it. And the reason why is because not that he couldn't be a part of it or anything, but he was still living a lie as he promoted the movie. If you're going to tie back into the family, you might as well just lay all the cards on the table.
Okay.
And what I mean by that was, first of all he had to come out and say is, at the time, Pac was going through a little ups and downs. Mm-hmm. I'm sure the white man was on his back. Mm-hmm. So he had to disassociate himself with Pac to keep his backers happy. We know how the business works.
Right.
Not only did he have to do that, knowing that if it wasn't for Pac, your backers wouldn't have backed you in the first place.
Right.
So I think that he owed it. I don't care what Pac was going through or whatever. He owed it Pac a sit down to explain exactly why he was no longer a part of the movie that he started, and it wouldn't have started without him.
Right, because they need that one person. They need that name.
They need that big name
attached
to sign on, right?
To get attached.
Right.
Are we talking about Menace to Society?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, again, fast forward because we're not going to stretch it out. But so by him a part of the new movie, I just thought that he would lay it out because, again, like he say, Pac was running with these big old thug niggas, and me and my brother was scared that he had to leave me behind. He was so scared. Well, first of all, again, I always tell the public when I speak about something too, do your research. If you can show me one picture of Pac with killers, hardcore gangster niggas that you so scared of,
yeah,
I would like to see it. Because if he talking about us who was hanging with him, mm-hmm. It wasn't nothing gangster about us because we was having money. And again, not saying exactly, about the day, even though, again, I will admit I was there. But the situation was, again, street level stuff. Pac jump out hollering at these niggas because this is the first time he done ran into them because they was dodging him. So he jump out the limo, holler at him. Now, true enough, both brothers, they stood there when Pac jumped out doing all that extra hollering. You know how hype he was.
Yeah.
He all over the place.
Okay.
But as the rest of the niggas start stepping out the limo, I guess they like, damn, this nigga not alone. Because now, you got one, now you got two, now you got three.
Okay.
So the one brother just took off before anything can even expire to even think about going wrong. He just wasn't going to wait around to find out what was going to happen.
Damn, he just took off.
Fuck his brother. He just left him.
Damn.
Now, on the other hand, you got real street niggas that done been in the streets.
Right.
So if one nigga take off running, niggas snatching up the nigga so he can't run.
Right.
That's all it basically was.
Oh, a little rough, little snatch up.
I mean, they snatched him up.
Little rough, little snatch up.
Again, I'm going to go back to do your research. Mm-hmm. I'm sure because what? He went to court. He done sued Pac.
Mm-hmm.
So it had to be a police report somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Other incident of exactly what happened that day. And I would love to see the hospital report of all these bruises that a nigga was supposed to get. You know, I want to see what bruises did you have.
I think they had some photos or something.
I would like to see them.
I think I saw something like that.
Because, again, now, I'm sure if you ask another one of my friends who was there that day, he might have a different opinion of the same incident.
Okay.
Because, you know, that's how things was. People look at it different ways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you that I don't remember no blood being shed that nigga got to call the ambulance or something.
Oh, okay. So again, a little rough up, little snatch
again,
up.
like I said, I do say that on the day of the store, he's actually said that after doing the movie, he was able to get more insight that he can look at Pac a little differently now. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt now.
Okay, that's good. That's fair. That's fair. And look, man, we all like 30 years older and all that. You know, over time, man, you grow and get perspective. And, you know, this movie went this way, and then this one went this way, and this one. And then you can look back and be like, oh, that's why he was feeling a certain way. Right. Or you can check yourself and be like, look, man, I was afraid, or I was scared, or I didn't even know how to tell you, man. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things you could say as a man now that he might not could have said back then.
Well, again, you got to remember, it was their new thing too now. They wasn't had their name strong out there yet neither. They hadn't proven themselves, so quite naturally they had to take a little criticism. So I can understand that too. But like I say, I just think now, you know, just put it out there that stop blaming Pac all of a sudden. Just say, look, man, I made a mistake and it went sour.
Right.
No matter what drove him to do what he did, it started off with y'all not showing the man respect that y'all should have showed him.
Yeah.
And that's just the bottom line.
Yeah. Exactly. So did Pac talk a lot about you know, future plans? Did you guys, when you were with him, right, through all those years, did he talk about visions for the future?
Yeah.
What kind of stuff did he talk about?
Well, again, we was putting the label together. You know, you had me, my boy Babes from the Bay, and my people up in New York, Stretch and his people. We was going to be the money backers. We was going to finance the whole project. Then we had Thug Life. All of them was going to eventually have solo projects. Then you had the Outlaws in training. So eventually they was going to take over and have solo projects. Then you had Pac over here in the movie, which once they took on their solo project, Pac was going to focus more into the movie department, where not only was he going to be on the screen, we was going to be behind the screen producing, writing, other projects.
All that. Okay.
So all that was in the play. And again, remember, you talking at this time, Pac probably was what, 21 maybe?
Right.
Making these kind of plans. To us, who was maybe at that time 27. But by now, like I say, Syke say he ain't made his less time making money was with Pac. Okay, that's because Pac now is pulling people out the streets.
Right.
So as you getting pulled out the streets, you're not doing as much as you making money.
Right.
You know. Luckily, in Syke's case, is he had me. See, I done already made the money that he able to live with me, so he still got the same look. So you never knew that it had changed.
Right.
Because he was still able to move and do the same thing that he was doing before the hand, because again, I picked up most of the tab by then.
Right.
So it was always good. We money was, like I said, never an object with us. We never had that type of problem.
Right. Okay. Got you. Another big question people have is about mental. You know, a lot of people are really interested in mental. Are y'all gonna put that video out, man? What you gonna do?
Well,
a lot of people want to see that full video.
No. And the thing about it is, like I said, I was fortunate to be able to borrow it because, again, it's the property of Domino now, And I did tell him how much response that he had for it. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think they posted it, or they in the process of posting it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, if they having problems, I can easily do it for them.
Well, I'll plug you up with them.
Yeah, hit me up. Put me up with Domino. Domino, man, I need that Domino interview, man. Where you at, man?
Exactly.
I need that. No, look, let them know, man. I'll just put it up. You can put it on whatever platform you want. It ain't got to be on my joint, but I could easily do it for you.
Yeah, I got you.
And the thing is, man, people want to hear it, man,
If people really want to get a bar of mental, then Google Evil Mind Gangster tape. And that way you'll be able to hear, him on 4 or 5 songs.
Yeah.
And it's just not because the video just going to give you the image.
Right.
But if you really want to see the talent that the man have, I will go back and get Psych first album, Evil Mind Gangsters, and listen to that, and you'll get a bar of mental.
Did Mental spend a lot of time in the studio, or did he just come in and knock them songs out?
He might have spent a little bit more time because, again, it was all new to him. Mm-hmm. So he was probably learning as he went.
Okay.
So, yeah. I would say he probably had a little bit more time than about time we got with Pac, because see now when we got, especially when Pac got with us, Pac was already seasoned. Mm-hmm. He was already that went through the Digital Underground. He already had
Tupacalypse.
Right. He was already working on the third album. So he was already seasoned.
Yeah.
But Psych and all them, you know what I'm saying, I guess you would say we was like anybody else, probably go and listen to the beat, they get the writing, you know what I'm saying, we was probably in there all night.
Okay, so when he did the Evil Mind Gangster stuff, that's literally his first time probably in a studio, right? Mental.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can tell on the wax that you could tell how new he is to it in a way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I could see Mental 3 albums in,
Right.
That would be like crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because I'm gonna tell you, if he would have able to been hanging around long enough and caught that bug, he would have definitely gave the public something to think about.
Right, exactly. Well, he would have been mentioned with everybody else.
Yeah. Some of them probably wouldn't have had a career.
Mm-hmm. It's quite interesting how much he influenced Pac. In a short amount of time,
But that's the you give that to Pac for able to see in that short period of time. See, again, you have to go to the knowledge and the greatness of Pac to able to pick that up to want to use it. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, it was a lot of people around, but to have impact, you know what I'm saying, you had to be something.
What was it about Kato that had such a big influence on Pac? He wasn't rapping.
No.
Right?
He was a real soldier though.
He's a real soldier. So Pac admired that part of him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, Pac had so many soldiers in his life that he drew little pieces of,
exactly.
Man, which is really what made him so strong, huh?
Exactly. That's like I said, I told you. He was able to almost see through people.
Really? Mm-hmm. Now, you know what's happening with Pac right now as far as, the documentaries out. I think I read somewhere that there's more murals of Pac in the world than any other person. Have you heard that?
I haven't heard it, but I wouldn't. I would believe it.
Throughout the world, you know?
I would believe it. Because, see, Pac is an international. Pac didn't went so far because, again, you got to understand, he's didn't went from movies to music to movies. So he's able to flow around so many different corners that some other artists never even had a chance to do.
Right.
So, yeah. And then again, he's cosmetic. You just have to like him. They can say what they want to say about him, but you have to like him. He's going to break anybody down, man. And when it comes to this camera thing, he had it down pat.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely did, man. Mm-hmm. And then he had the message that touched people's hearts, no matter what language you speak. You know what I mean?
Right.
That message, even if you can't speak the language, you could hear it in his voice. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Like I say, his mama, he got that from his mama. She was a very good speaker, and she was like a magnet to people. People drove to her. Once you sat down with her, you're going to be like, man, this woman right here, and you're going to be locked in from that point on. So when he died and she picked up the slack, everybody took to her just like they was taking to him. Now, me, on the other hand, I was fortunate enough to be in both of them inner circle. And it was just, it was just crazy. Because for them to both be so powerful and both of them have my respect.
Right.
To the point where they looking at me. You know what I'm saying? They looking up at me like how I looked up at some of my role models.
Right.
So I feel very honored to be in that category with them.
Man, it is an honor, man. I lived through the honor of knowing you, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. Do you think Pac would have ever done anything political?
Yeah, I do.
You think he would run for something? Governor, president, mayor?
Yep. And the reason why I say that is because, again, if we go back and check our history, Pac was always about doing something for his people.
Right.
Now, you could say that's coming from the Black Panther history or whatever. You can say what you want. I ran with the man, and he was just a good person. And he was always trying to push his people to the next stage in life. So, knowing that now that we didn't have the black president and all of that, where the doors is open now, he would have added that to his resume, yeah. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it. And then again, we know how politics ran. Mm-hmm. They would have came and got him.
True.
There's no way it wasn't going to be a group that wouldn't have came and got him. Even if they just would have put him on the ticket for their own self.
Yeah.
And that was going to open the door for him to get a taste of it. And yeah, I believe he would have been definitely one of these city council people.
Something like that, huh? Right. At a minimum.
Yeah, exactly. But I think he would have went higher than that.
What would you think is the reason that Pac really connected with you guys more so than, let's just say, some other rapper dudes or some other actor dudes? You know, he could have came to town, man, and linked up with anybody. What do you think attracted him to you guys?
Just circumstance.
Oh, literally just circumstance.
Yeah.
But he met you. You could meet him, and not necessarily he becomes the homie and y'all run together. I mean, you have to have some kind of like connection, you know?
Well, again, that's the blessing of being from Inglewood. We have that connection with people. And like I say, Pac was a young kid. And we over here, you know what I'm saying, like I say, having it our way. So when he came in and seen all that, you know, he was just locked in. And then once he came back and started hanging with us, it just became family after that. You know, he just locked in, and you know what I'm saying. And even at the end, when he went and did his own little thing over at Deathrow, eventually it was going to all come back to play,
Right?
Because we were still tied in family wise.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? See, we still talking to cousins. I'm still messing with his mom. You know, Sight over there still messing with his brother. So everything is still in tune. It was just going to be like a revolving door. Mm-hmm. You know, I always tell people that him and Stretch was so close, and even though things went so haywire, I thought eventually once they ran into each other, it would have been a little different, you know, because they never had a chance to be with each other after all that jumped off. After the shooting, they wasn't never together that much no more.
Okay, that's my last question I have for you, was that whole situation, because Stretch was on the songs. Stretch was what he considered a real friend, right? Mm-hmm. So much so that you guys became friends with him, right? He was there the night Pac got shot in New York, literally with him. Mm-hmm. What I didn't know, what you told me, was it was 2 more people, so it was 4 people there, right? Mm-hmm. So was it that he thought Stretch had something to do with it?
Well, I'm going to say really deep down, he probably didn't. Because they was too close for him kind of not to know if Stretch had it or not. But what I do think he ended up looking at it where is Stretch might have been scared. Because Stretch was from New York.
Uh-huh.
So it was like, well, nigga, I still got to live out here with these niggas in my family.
Right.
So maybe Stretch was looking at it that way that Pac might assume. But again, we only assuming because we wasn't in nobody's mind. And It wasn't like they said it. So we just assume it. But if I had to take an honest guess by me being there at the time, I think, because when me and Pac actually sat down and had a discussion about some things, it was just more so that I just can't believe that I guess you could say niggas is coming up off of me. See, what people don't understand, Pac went into a sense of, it wasn't depression or anything, because he was happy. You know, he wasn't never seeming like, oh, he got messed up in jail. But what I did think that at one particular moment, maybe when he first started to go, that he felt that he was going to jail, that everybody else was finna come up off of him. So he kind of stopped messing with people. Now, quite naturally, he rose Biggie because when he went to jail, Biggie album came out and Biggie started blowing up. So he like, oh, nigga, wait till I go to jail and then try to take the #1 spot that I had. You see what I'm saying?
That's that MC competition right there.
But at the same time, you got Stretch over here where me and you running together, and now Pac is saying, okay, well, I ain't messing with y'all. So Stretch was like, okay, I'm going to do my own thing like I was doing beforehand and show you it wasn't about you.
Right.
I was doing this already.
Right.
So he went back into his solo mind frame. Then you got over here where Mom, she come to visit him at Jasmine Guy house, because that's where he posted up at while he letting the bullet hole.
Jasmine Guy.
Right.
Yep.
While the bullet hole. Well, like I told you before, if you know Mom, she's a brilliant woman. So we sitting up in Gasman Guy house, right? The first day Pac get over there. And she's so happy he there. She walking around and she just talking and she talking. And so she talking and telling us, like, I didn't even have cable. I had to order it because Pac was coming. You know, because she into reading and all that stuff. You know, she ain't watching TV, I guess.
Right.
So, anyways, so her and mom's able to sit around because mom's there too. And she get a whiff of mom's life. So she's amazed. Like, damn, this woman that went through all this.
Right.
We need to write a book about this.
Right.
So her and Gasman Jai strike up a deal to write a book. Pop stopped talking to mom. Because he said, oh, look, all y'all now, all of a sudden, y'all want to come up.
Oh, shit.
You see what I'm saying? So that's the way he was taking it. It wasn't that he was mad at mom. She just got pushed in with everybody.
Now
so
she in it.
It was like a domino effect to him. That's the way he looking at it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So again, that's how me and mom relationship built, because now that Pac didn't, not saying he pushed her out, but they having a disagreement, I scoop her up and she come and stay with me. So that's what me and her relationship built off of that incident.
Okay.
But all that came off the situation in New York from them being shot at the thing, because again, if you ever in a situation where niggas draw down on you, now, first of all, you can't panic.
Right.
So I give Pac 100% of doing what he did, because he know he got his gun on him.
Right.
So nigga, again, something a coward wouldn't do.
Right.
We going for it, nigga. I got mine, you got yours. Now, true enough, you got the upper hand on me because you drawn.
Yeah.
I still got to get mine out. So, when they tell niggas to get down on the ground, Pac playing for it. He not getting down. But on the other hand, you got Stretch over here that start getting down. Now, Stretch thing is like this as you talk to him. Nigga pull a gun on me, man, I ain't got no gun. I got a family to go home to. Ain't no need for me trying to fight no niggas. Pac not looking at it that way, though. Pac like, nigga, I got the gun for both of us, nigga. Let's get these niggas. Plus, you some big old, strong nigga. Well, that don't mean nothing when it comes to pistols. You know that.
Exactly.
So, again, Pac went for his, and him and his gunman got the wrestling over the gun, and that's how Pac ended up. Like, people don't even know that. Pac ended up shooting himself the first couple of times. When he got shot down there in his groin, that was all him. Trying to pull the gun out too fast with his hand on the trigger. So it went off. So that's why it wasn't a fatal gun wound. It was more of a skin. Because the gun was pointed down already. Now, when he get hit in the head, you would, again, do your homework. You would say, well, the gunman, why didn't shoot him dead in the head where it didn't go through? It's skin. Well, quite naturally, it's skin if the nigga got his hand on it and they fighting over it.
Yeah.
Quite naturally, it's skin him and it didn't go through.
Right.
Now, quite naturally, he took two in the body. That's because after he done took all that other shit, I guess he probably done got tired and wore out.
Yeah.
That now the nigga can step back and gun him down 2 times. And he still got in the elevator and went upstairs. But that's the people say that it's faking.
Yeah. Yeah, how's that fake? How you faking that?
Hey, I'm just saying. And, just to put the icing on the cake, he checked into the hospital that night and walked out the next day because he didn't feel safe. After taking 5 shots, the nigga still got up and checked himself out and walked to another hospital. And the question to me is he real? Is that the question they still asking? I guess them people didn't do no homework. Because that's the only way you would ask that if you ain't did your homework.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way you would ask that.
It have to be.
You don't know.
No. Unless you one of these square niggas that don't know how the street work.
Yeah.
And you just assume. Because if you got any street knowledge in you at all, everything I said, you can make your own judgment.
Right. Whew. Damn, man. Monook, man, we did it again, man. I love it, bro. You know what I want to do? I want to bring you on my YouTube page, man, and let's answer some live questions from some cats. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we could do that from anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, line it up.
Let's get that going after I put this out there.
Like I say, man, as long as we keep this story original, man, we can give it all to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I just want to, like I say, my man then gave y'all 25 years of his hard work.
Yeah.
That y'all still living off of that 27 years later, longer than he was alive.
Yeah.
So it's only right that y'all get as much true to the story as possible.
That's right, man. That's what we living for, too. Putting truth out.
That's it, my nigga. You heard it straight from Monook.
That's right, man. Dang, man. Well, y'all know who I am. King Mike Boogie Supreme Microphone Fiend in the place to be. Man, we got to get Domino on here, too, man. This is my second shout out to you, Domino, man. I want to hear about the Evil Mind Gangsters, man, and your side of the story. So shit, man. Look, bro, I appreciate it again, man.
I like my green with crystals like Folgers.